Pricing is one of the most major components that determine an organization's revenue and helps determine profitability. Some of the top organizations take advantage of the dynamic pricing or surge pricing based on customer demand and behavior, charge higher prices during peak time. These prices are molded according to the algorithm which manages supply and demand. In this session, we will understand how organizations are redefining their pricing and promotion strategies with more personalized value propositions for the customers, while also identifying opportunities to optimize their spend on promotion. We will also discuss how organizations are responding to customer buying behavior with channel shift during various stages of pandemic impact for both B2C and B2B worlds, all powered by analytics. So the topic for this session is pricing and promotions analytics in era of digital marketing. Allow me to invite our speaker. He's currently working as a director of pricing at Advanced Auto Parts India. In his role, he is leading a team of pricing professionals who provide data-driven business insights in optimizing the strategic pricing decisions for the organization. He has over 21 years of diverse experience in aftermarket, supply chain management, strategic pricing, advanced analytics, strategy, and consulting. His key experience involves solving business problems and transforming business processes by developing cutting-edge solutions using AI, data science techniques, and adoption of digital technologies. His experience includes retail, automotive, manufacturing, and high-tech. So without further ado, please allow me to welcome Mr. Vishwesh. Khandkar, please. Thank you so much, sir, for joining in. It's absolutely a pleasure.
Hey, thanks, Priya, and well, thanks to NASCOM first of all for providing us this opportunity to discuss in this forum. And with that, let me provide you a quick view of what I'm going to present today. And first of all, before that, just a quick introduction, and I think we already did that. So I'm Vishwesh Khandkar and working as the director for the pricing group in Advanced Auto Parts. And today, as we are going to talk about digital marketing, and what I would like to share my thoughts would be on how this is relevant in terms of the automotive aftermarket industry, where currently I'm working on. Right. So with that, allow me to take you through this this session in terms of what we see here. Right. I hope all of you can see my screen. As we mentioned in the beginning, like this session is more about how the organizations, and here when I say organizations, I'm primarily representing aftermarket, automotive aftermarket, but in other industries also you can find a lot more relevance. But in this context of this organization, and this industry, what we're going to talk about is how the pricing and promotion strategies, right? How these can actually provide a more personalized value proposition with the adaptation of digital technologies, and how organizations are trying to optimize their spend and also improve the customer experience in this digital marketing space. So that's what we are going to look at, and I will share some interesting examples based on our experience in advance and in the industry that we are in. Before I go to the industry, I just want to introduce ourselves. So I know we are relatively new in India, but Advanced Auto Parts is one of the leading automotive aftermarket parts provider in North America. We are like one of the established players in this space. I mean, founded in 1932 and then headquartered in Raleigh, North Carolina, in US. Currently, our CEO is Tom Greco, and we are almost like 70,000 plus global organization. what we do, we sell the auto parts, through our retail and online channels to our customers. Our primary presence is in North America, and we are like almost like $10 billion, company as on 2020, and yeah, 2021. We are still the results are yet to be out, but definitely we have an excellent year as well. Uh, Currently in so as I said, like I'm part of the Global Capability Center in Hyderabad, and this is one of the new facilities that Advanced Auto Parts opened in India in 2019. And the whole objective was to access the larger talent pool that we have in India, which will help to really scale up some of the various transformation initiatives that we are driving in the organization, where we are working on multiple areas like digitization, and then more towards how we can improve the overall customer experience, and how we can be more competitive in the current state where we are, right? So that's was the objective, and that's where we are in. And another thing I want to add is like we also feature some of the very well-known brands, like CarQuest and Die Hard, to talk about them. Uh, these are pretty established brands, and I would also share some interesting marketing digital marketing experiences with respect to how we promoted some of these brands as well, right? So with that, I would like to then talk a little bit about the industry, because I know this is automotive aftermarket, and unlike retail or automotive, right? When we talk about automotive aftermarket automotive parts, it does not probably sound that glamorous as in the retail or auto industry as such. But believe me, it is definitely equally interesting and equally exciting and equally equally big in terms of the size, and that's what you will see here. So overall, if you look at the size of global automotive aftermarket, right, it's almost like in 2020, as per some estimates, it was around 530, more than $535 billion of industry. And over next 5-6 years, we are expected to grow at 6.2% CAGR. That is how this industry currently stands. And although there was significant impact during pandemic, but we'll see later that in fact, when it comes to aftermarket, the equation is a little different in terms of how we react to the market situation, right? So for example, typically if there is a recession, a slowdown, generally the new cars sales may reduce, but then at the same time your existing cars, people will start using them for more, and then that's where your repair and returns and those things will increase, and that's where we make our business, because people will need more auto parts to prolong their life of their existing cars. So all those things we have seen, and we are we are still in the pandemic phase, but definitely the industry has still recovered well when it comes to automotive aftermarket, and we are projected to grow significantly. Now, when we talk about this industry, it is also important to understand, the type of customer, the type of channels, right, through which we, sell the, parts, right. So when it comes to type of customers, so there are two types primarily. One is do it yourself, the DIY as we call it, and the other is DIFM, that is do it for me, professional installers. So if if I can just relate it with how we see the things in India, right? So if your car is requiring any repair, so one option is that probably, yeah, if we can try to fix it ourselves if there is some small repair, or if we just take it to a nearby garage or service center. Typically, maybe in India, we prefer the second option because it is very easily available, and economical, as well as where you get everything in terms of the technical expertise or whatever, right? However, when you look at some more matured markets like North America or Europe, you will see a significant proportion of this customer segment under DIY category, that is do it yourself, where people will prefer to do some smaller repairs themselves. They will just go to visit a shop and buy the particular parts, and then they will follow the service manuals and try to do some repairs themselves. That is something a significant share of the of our overall business as we see. And during the pandemic, we have also seen a good amount of channel shift, because customers were probably preferring to use their own vehicles, as well as do their own repairs, rather than exposing themselves to more people by taking it to any service center, right? So those are some of the dynamics around the customer types, how this industry works. And then there are various sales channels, right, which are available in terms of how we sell auto parts, right? So it is like we sell it through retails, we sell it through e-commerce, online channel, and then there are many players coming into the market where they are setting up some mega stores to store and sell these parts. Then always there will be dealers, distributors, and many times even the OEMs, the original equipment manufacturers, right? They directly may sell to the customers as well. So these are the different sales channels which are there in this industry. These are the type of customers, and so that's where it is like both B2B and B2C industry. And we'll see how that plays a role in terms of determining your marketing strategies, and how how the digitization impacts that, right? So also to talk a little bit about the key trends that we are seeing currently, right? Right now, if you see, the automotive aftermarket industry, so a lot of value proposition is shifting from the manufacturers to the retailers, right? Retailers who are more facing the customers, so that's where a lot of value shifting. And this industry, it is still pretty fragmented as such, but we have also seen a significant amount of mergers and acquisitions over last decade. Advanced Auto Part itself is a prime example. Like we acquired CarQuest and DieHard and all these different brands. So definitely something that we see. And during the pandemic period, right? Of course, there was some impact in this on this industry. For example, during Q2 2020, when the pandemic hit for first time in that big volume, right? That's when the industry took the biggest hit, and the sales were down. But then after that, it gradually picked up, and now it is like pretty much either same or better than the 2019 levels, right? Another important aspect we need to understand when it comes to automotive aftermarket is that the kind of technology that is going into our cars nowadays. You can see, like cars are relying more on it is becoming more a software and IT application driven than a mechanical application driven, right? You talk about the connected devices, you talk about navigation systems, and all those things. So that's where you see that many of these components also are becoming high tech, and that has also some influence in terms of in future how the automotive aftermarket channel shift may happen. Because typically if the parts are too complex to repair, obviously the customers may not be able to do it themselves, and they may rely on the professional players on that. So those are some of the dynamics again when it comes to automotive aftermarket. And one important aspect that I want to talk about, because being from pricing, one thing that we saw last year in this industry was the cost inflation, right? That really hit this industry. Okay. And every player, every player in the industry, really got impacted. And I'm sure, everyone like us and everyone else, might have, changed some of their strategies on pricing, marketing, etc. So those are some of the key trends that we see, with the automotive, aftermarket industry. Now we'll just dwell a little bit more in terms of the dynamics around, what impacts. We talked about customer type and sales channels. So how these impact our, demand that we see in this industry, because that would have a direct relation in terms of, how we shape our marketing strategies, right? So talking about demand drivers for auto for this industry, right? So there are two things which are very important. Number one is the type of vehicle, right? That is where your demand originates, right? And generally, as I was saying earlier, like if your new cars are, when you take a new car, if everything is fine, and unless you really, meet with any accident, generally you won't need so much of a requirement for replacing the parts. Then as it grow, as your vehicle goes, becomes old, right? And typically like 6 to 12 years is what we call it as the sweet spot, right? For our industry, because when vehicle is in that age group, you will observe a lot of requirement in terms of, maintenance, repairs, replacement of old parts, right? And then that would automatically translate into the demand for this industry, right? So that's why how we are, what is the average age of the vehicle, right, on the, on the road, that plays a role. And when we see, for example, the pandemic like situation where people were probably deferring their decisions to buy new cars, and they were trying to, extend their existing cars operations. So that was also, when we were, also seeing that impact in terms of, growth that we could see, during this period. The other thing is about, the many times, customers would just want to upgrade their existing cars with the new technologies, right? Maybe 12 years back, there was no concept of, connected devices. Now we need Bluetooth, we need those kind of connectivity, and, we need, say, better audio, visual systems, right? So instead of replacing the entire car, maybe if we can do some upgrades on the existing car, where we can, include those technologies. So those are all the things that actually impact the, requirement, impact the demand, and those are the drivers for, generating the demand for aftermarket. Now, the other thing that we want to look at is what is the type of, demand that we get, right? And that's where the customer type is important. So as I was saying earlier, like do-it-yourself customer, DIY customers, right? Typically, they will go for parts that are less technical to install, right? So this is something they can follow the, rule book, and they can follow the, manual, and, they can just, install it themselves, right? Like filters, tires, oil, mirrors, and these type of parts. Whereas the DIFM, where you actually rely on your, professional installers. So, more complex parts, bulkier parts, heavier parts, right, which individuals cannot do, and, maybe it would require some more technical knowledge. Those are the DIFM type of customers, right? Now, for DIY, it is, why people prefer this way, because it is easy in operations, right? It is easy availability of replacement parts. They can visit any store, buy online, and, do it themselves. But then for DIFM also, there is a market, for them, because it's not economic, it's not, feasible every time that, people can do entire repair on their own, and they have to rely on the, specialists. They have to rely on the professionals. So that's why the significance of DIFM, type of customers, right? Who are our, who are the service providers, professional installers, who are into, doing these, repairs as a professional, and they will then, buy these parts from, from players like Advance, and that's what, that's why for us they are like the wholesale, customers, right? So what matters for these two type of customers, and that is very important to understand the, customer behavior, because both these, the customer types may have a different, say, driver in terms of what influences them, right? So for a DIY, it could be always about competitive price and availability of the parts. When you visit a store, is the part available or not? Like any other industry, you will see that, right? If you visit a nearby shop, if the product is available or not, that is definitely at the top of our list. And then convenient delivery option is another one which became even more relevant in the pandemic era, because now we've seen many of players started of providing a lot more options in terms of home delivery or order online, pick up at store, those all those kind of options, right? So that is also another important parameter for customers. Now, when we look at DIFM, these are the our long-term customers, where when they buy things, buy parts in bulk. What is important to them? It is about trust, the relationship, because it's a long-term relationship that they establish, right? That is very critical to them. And then because it's a big volumes, right, we're talking about. So how how we can how much of a discounts or how much of a specialized prices that we can offer to them, at what speed or how quickly we can deliver these products to them. These are some of the critical parameters for them. So when we look at any of our sales strategies, marketing strategies, it is very important to really understand these factors, because industry to industry and customer type to customer type, it there will be different levers which you may want to use. Right? Now, having looked at the the drivers of this demand, what we can also look at is what are the different channels that we had. So earlier we talked about we are selling the parts in this industry. You can find people are selling it through retail stores, through online channel, or through directly to the customer. So how is the growth of e-commerce channel, right? And over last 20 years, 10 to 20 years, we have seen for other industries, if you talk about CPG or if you talk about any other industry, right? E-tailers have definitely grown, with the advent of Amazon and eBay and all the players. Definitely, e-commerce is something that is that is growing. But when it comes to automotive aftermarket, is this channel still relevant, right? Is the do people really buy parts online? Probably few years back, 10 years back, this might have been a very difficult to agree that people will prefer to buy parts online. However, what we are seeing over last few years is that actually this channel, right, has also, while it is still the overall sales and in this channel, through this channel, we're still under 10% of the overall auto aftermarket sales. But what we are estimating is that it is going to grow at 15, almost like 15.9% CAGR from 2021 to 2029, 2027, which is almost double than, or more than double than the overall auto aftermarket industry growth that we are estimating, which was around 6.2%. And just look at, if you look at this channel growth, it is 15.9%. So that gives a lot of background in terms of this, why this channel may be critical for for this industry. And let's look at why this channel is so critical, because this is also something where our marketing, digital marketing strategy will be relevant and will be important to see how that ties up with the growth of this e-commerce channel. Now, first thing is, okay, what attracts the customers to the e-commerce channel? Like any other industry, and we also, as a consumer, we all every day, I mean we do our shopping, right? I mean, be it on Amazon, be it Flipkart, or anything, right? So for any of the consumer products, as we rely on the e-commerce channels, for automotive parts also, right? And here I'm talking a little bit more about, say, the mature markets again, like North America, Europe, where you will see a more usage of this channel. And what customers, what attracts customers to this channel? So one is definitely about price transparency. They can easily see what is the price and how they can compare it against other competitors, right? The other thing is, okay, what are the attributes, right? What are the specifications, right? That is something very easily, they can see. And if it is a convenient, for pickup or delivery options, right, are those also available, right? Those are things that really attracts the customers to this channel, right? And one survey that we have seen is, which talks about how frequently customers use e-commerce channels for buying automotive parts. Okay, we are specifically talking about automotive parts, and for the different industry, these numbers may, be different. But even for this industry, you can see that 70 to 80% of customers, they found to be doing the research online before making any vehicle parts purchase, right? Which is significant, adaptation of e-commerce channel. And most of the, auto parts buyer, they visit, at least, some of these, competitor sites, at least twice, right, to make any purchase, right? Now, what matters to the customers when they come to this, online channel? So the first thing is the first impression. That is definitely, something that counts. And it is pretty, general for any industry, right? Any website, if you go, if the website is not appealing, if it is not user friendly, you probably may not, like to visit it again, right? So I mean, pretty straightforward, and even for this industry, it's, that stands out. So that's why creating an appealing and user friendly, application, web application, is so critical. And yeah, you cannot believe, like, till before pandemic hit us, right, we didn't have so much of a usage of our, advanced app, mobile app. We actually did a lot of investment to, get that app. So that talks more about, how organizations try to adapt to the, situation by investing more on digital technologies. The other key factors that count to the customer, right, it is more about, what are the competitive prices, right? What promotions and discounts are on offer? Okay, and that is again, like any other industry, this would remain, the top 2 3 priorities for the customer when they look at online shopping, right? And complete product information with good visuals, that is also another, important significant aspect with the right product ratings. Those are things like any other online channel. Even for this industry, it is, it is something very, very important. Now the question is, okay, with so much of usage of online channel, if the overall sales under this industry is still, under 10% or around that number, is this channel still important, right? And what, and that is what we'll try to answer here, why this channel is important. Even if you see the overall, sales percent proportion through this channel is around 10% only. So the answer to that is this channel, right, e-commerce channel, it is one of the, most used channel for doing the overall marketing, right? And also to influence the customer decision journey to purchase the products, right? So customers may still buy the parts from our retail store, but before going there, they would have already done their research. And when they come to, the store, they were already more informed about what they are buying, right? And that's where, and then they may be also aware of the discounts and promotions that we are offering and what our competitors are offering, right? So that is why this channel is so critical, right? In terms of engaging the customer in the long term, right? And as we look at the customer decision journey, right? So first for the first time, when there is a, when they discover their need, they may be searching for the products, researching it, doing the comparison, and then see, okay, whether they want to purchase it or not. But once they do the purchase, next time maybe, they know that, okay, this product is available here. They may probably, start using it, seeing how it is, performing. And then after that, the next stage would be in terms of how they, once they develop that trust, right, if they can evangelize that with, their network, right? That's how we build up the customer, base. And that is why this channel plays so critical role, okay, for even the automotive aftermarket industry, right? And that is the reason why, it is so relevant for the digital marketing as well. And that's what now we are going to come back to our original topic of, 4 P's of marketing, the 4 pillars. there was a traditional marketing, where price, product, place, promotions, these are considered to be the four P's. And then there is a new buzz in the markets, let's call it that way, that okay, digital marketing, right? Process, people, platform, performance. Are these now going to be the new four P's of, of marketing, right? Uh, Based on our industry experience, what we can tell is like, while the four P's of traditional marketing, these are still the cornerstone of our, our marketing, strategy, and it is actually, going to keep us, competitive. But now we are also trying to leverage the digital technologies to make sure that, we are able to optimize our, MROI, I mean, marketing return on investment and the customer experience, right? And we'll give you some examples, how we are, going to do that. Before going there, one more thing I want to add is, whether it is traditional marketing or if you talk about digital marketing, at the heart of any marketing campaign, creativity is, plays a vital role. Okay. I mean, as they say, right, marketing can be X% science and Y% art, right? And that's where, be it any marketing campaign, right? Unless there is a creativity, there is a, limited success. And we'll see that in some of our next, examples. Now, digital marketing, I wouldn't want to, go through more about this in terms of, yes, there are four pillars, four pillars that we see, which process, people, platform, and performance, with the objective to improve the overall conversion, optimize the market spend, right? And how we better adapt to the digital technologies, and how we can, improve the overall personalization, overall customer experience. That's the whole, purpose of digital marketing, right? Now we'll just jump to some of the examples, based on our experience, which can help us to relate with these, four pillars, okay, both in from a traditional marketing as well as a digital marketing space. So I will come to the diehard batteries, right? This is a pretty classic marketing success story for us, right? This was one brand we acquired in 2020, and then we, we launched our marketing campaign, and how we launched it, and let's just go through that story, right? So first is the traditional marketing, the four pillars, those were pretty much, the cornerstone of our, campaign, right? First of all, the product was something definitely which it was the, best in the, class product, which was known for reliability, durability. I mean, what you expect from a typical, automotive battery, right? So choosing that product was definitely an important part. And then featuring this ad, right? Starting the promotion when you want to, launch your, campaign, right? So place, maybe I will call it more as a timing, right? So first of all, we featured our, television ad during this NFL game, where, where the viewership was almost like 40 million, right? And how did we promote it, right? So we brought Bruce Willis of Die Hard movie fame, right? And this is where I, try to call out the creativity of it, right? Because the Die Hard, brand existed since 1967. The Die Hard movie started from late 80s or 90s, right? But it was in 2020 when we combined the two to launch this campaign, and which was really well received by the, by the customers, right? And then of course the competitive promo prices. So all these, played a major role in terms of, starting with this campaign. But then would it have been successful without digital marketing, right? And that's what I would now, want to add, that to make this campaign successful, we had to partner with our, internal stakeholders, our campaign partners, to make sure that we are able to execute it. Because it's not just that a TV ad on, that we see, but on the ground, if you're not able to, establish the right processes to execute this, strategy, it will fail, right? So that's what we tried to, we made sure that we did that. And then even for the people, right, we try to also provide it in a more personalized manner. So for our existing customers, right, they already had their loyalty programs, so we also try to see how we can bundle, some of these programs with their existing loyalty programs. So that will give them more personalized, feel of, this product. And then this ad, we launched it on our e-com platform. We also, made it on the advertisement was made available on all the social media platforms, but customers were able to, execute this strategy, or customers were able to, buy the products from our e-com immediately. And that's where we had to make sure that, we are able to create that infrastructure, make the, related things ready, functions, available where we can, execute it. And then important thing is about performance, right? Every marketing or any new initiative when you do want to see how you want to, measure the effectiveness of it. You need not wait till the end, or need not wait for, say months, or, if not weeks, to, see the effectiveness of it. So there are many techniques nowadays, which like dynamic testing or A/B testing as they call it, which will give you, immediate, result of your hypothesis. If you have certain hypothesis whether, thing A will work versus thing B, you can personalize it, you can, launch it, and you can see the result immediately. Those are things which, we try to do here, and that's was, one of the success stories for us. So I think, just continuing on, the personalization, right? Another thing, on e-commerce channel particularly, we see that, many customers, right, or many prospective customers, or prospective buyers, right? They may visit it. Sometimes there will be a very unlikely buyers also who are just visiting it and they're not buying anything, right? Sometimes there are buyers who already have made up mind that, yeah, they have to, buy it. And then there are the fence sitters, right, on the fence shoppers, who are still undecided, and those are the target, customers for us, whom we can influence. So the whole idea of, digital marketing for us is how do we identify these, on the fence shoppers, and how we can influence them, right? Because that's where we can increase the conversion rate, right, for these players. And that is where we would see our opportunity to spend more in terms of, the amount that we are spending, through discounts, right? For likely buyers, anyway, we are, even if anyway they are going to buy it, right? So why to spend more amount there? Or unlikely buyers also, if they are not going to buy, why to spend, more amount there on, offering discounts? Rather than that, if we can, channelize that to our, on the fence shoppers whom we can influence, that will give us better conversion rate. So that is the overall, strategy that many organizations are adapting, and that's where a lot of, technologies which are, playing a role in terms of how effectively we can do that, right? Now the last thing I want to talk about is, with all this, digital channel, or, the digital marketing, one important aspect to keep in mind is the maturity of adaptation of digital technologies. It is not just about whether the end customer is able to buy it online, right? That's not just the, only success criteria for a, marketing campaign. What is important is how the entire organization is able to do the groundwork, the homework, right, by adapting, to these digital technologies, which can help them to be better prepared with the right, strategies and right offers to the right customers. And that's where digital technologies, using data analytics platforms, AI, machine learning techniques, these play so important role, because that helps them to capture the data, analyze it, look at different what if scenarios, understand what drives their, final metrics, and look at where whom they need to target, right? What is the right, customer segment, right? How do they optimize the pricing guidance, right? What right prices they can offer. So that's where we are doing, some of these strategies for our DIFM customers also, where we looked at, okay, how can we do attribute based price zones, where it is, where we can sell a, part for higher price or lower price, what are the right customers to target, right? And based on that, we can see, okay, some of the decision trees, right, that will give us some price guidance. Maybe for this customer segment, this is the right guidance, which we should go ahead with. So that forms the overall, theme of our marketing campaign, and that gives us a more information, more insights in terms of how we should go ahead with our marketing strategy. So that is where digital technologies play a vital role. And as I said, it is not just about the customer facing, system that has to be digital, but the entire organization systems and processes which enable you to take the right decisions, right? That is the essence of, having a successful marketing strategy on digital platforms. So those are, the some of the experiences that I wanted to, share. And yeah, I can leave it for any other questions if you have. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Vishwesh, for doing this for us. I think the entire presentation was so in-depth. Everything that you shared was so in-depth that the audience could resonate with every presentation, every slide of yours. And I think all the questions have been answered because it was so very clear and crisp. So thank you very, very much for your time. And thank you for sharing this for us. Please take care.
Thanks, Pooja. Thank you.